So, first of all, Ken, I just wanted to express my gratitude for your presence here today. You're one of the people who, for me, we go back, well, a relatively long way in the sense that we did our training together in 4A and 4B in California and in Florida. So, I'm really happy to be with you today and to have this interview and this special time with you. So I'm going to start off with a very basic question. Just how did you start? Because I never actually asked you that question when the time that we were together. I never actually found out how the breath found you or how you found your breath. So maybe we can start there.
Well, thank you for having me. And well, you and I have great connection. We have grown together. We in transformational breath. We are on the same starting line.
That's right.
So that's cool. That's cool. And all right. So let's talk about my story. I used to work in corporate and kind of marketing management kind of professions. And well, in my first first part of my life, I felt I'm pretty lucky, and I work in big corporations and having good job, good salary, and until to middle age, near to 40s, and I in my life, well, people around me having the problem, career problem, family problem. One of my classmate at secondary school classmate died young when he was in the peak of his career. And one thing that really bring me to inside is my my elder brothers, who have emigrated to Canada, and indeed we haven't met very often in the last few decades. He 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 got off, passed away in his 60s, and because of the cancer, which part of the Steve Jobs cancer, kind of somewhere
Uh-huh.
here. How do
Uh-huh.
you call it in English?
Lung
Not
cancer.
none,
No.
not none. Uh, Steve Jobs got that one.
Was it
Pancreas,
lymphatic or
pancreas, right?
kidney or
Not
pancreas?
kidney.
Pancreas.
Pancreas. That is, well, very powerful. Very people pass away fast in 6 months, sort of. And I start, well, thinking, what should I do? Who am I? What are we going to do in the rest of my life? At that time, I feel I go into a bit of depressions. I lost interest to my job, to my life. I woke up in the morning and not wanting to go back to the office for 1 year's time, and a bit down and not going anywhere. So at that time, I think it's kind of calling. My wife, Connie, you met her.
Yeah, sure. I love Connie.
One day, one day she told me she have invested in a company, kind of self-growth training company. I went, what? What's that? What was? Indeed, is kind of kind of executive coaching training company. All right, interesting. I think this is kind of self-growth, kind of body, mind, spirit. They organize training like that, hypnotherapies kind of things. I think that's interesting. And out of curiosity, and also I feel at that time I need some help. I need help to regain my life, and so I go into her training, her company training. Wow, at that time I feel shocked, and wow, there are some kind of training like this. People hurt and cry and yell and things like that. I mean, well, some kind of people can. Well, I think I'm not suffering indeed. I saw a lot of people are suffering. Their childhood, their career, their marriage, At that time, okay, yeah, that kind of training or self-growth training helps me indeed. Helped me to see the world from the other angle. There's another world to me. Indeed, in the past, I was, well, kind of normal people, go to school, university, and then work in big corporation, a stable salary. I felt this is my life, this is the world, and now I think, yeah, interesting. I then keep going, well, keep taking that kind of training. I learned a lot of healing tools like hypnotherapist, Reiki, and also dynamic meditations, oneness, kind of, well, everything that available to me. And I also, I was a serious learner at that time. I learn and get certified and try to help people. Well, I think this is interesting. It helped me, make me more peaceful. And when I try to do sessions to work with client, I feel a lot of fulfillment, that kind of self-satisfaction in doing this kind of job. Oh, I think, at that time I do it part-time, and during the learning process, I took a lot of this body, mind, spirit training course, seminars. I find things, every system, they should have one or two breathing sessions during their training. And I have a lot of deep experience doing breathing. I like breathing. I'm not an easy person to be hypnotized. I can hypnotize others, but not being hypnotized. I feel upset about that indeed. But during the breathing, I was indeed forcefully go deep into my subconscious. Breathing, you can control, and well, I feel, wow, it got a lot of sensations, emotions, and inspiration through breathing sessions, whatever breathing. Oh, so I think this may be something that I need to go after and learn deep. I learned a lot of breathing modalities, and occasionally, I think it's kind of another calling. A friend of mine showed me a video. That video is Judith Carras doing the breathing analysis with some other client, and this is sorted in Italy. In they spoke Italian and with a interpreter. Wow, I think this kind of tele is amazing. Judith just with the flow of the breath can tell something deep inside their belief system, um, their kind of energy blockages, and they do something interesting. And that guy come up with joyful expression, more relaxed, very happy. I thought, wow, this is something interesting, something cool. Because when I work on body, mind, spirit, and doing with client, I indeed thinking of, is there a way that is simple, can really go into the root of the problem, and then it is empowering. So people don't need to rely on the healer or counselor. People learn and then do it by themselves in their daily life and free of charge. All right, I find this transformational rap. All right, so I search on the rap, and I find, and I get in touch with Judith in email. So I go, America, go over there. Ooh, and yes, the more I learn about, so you know what, after that, you know what, I did is go to 4As and level 5 with you guys, and well, during the whole learning process and practicing, I really convinced that breathing is really about life, and it is the simplest way. In Tao Te Ching said, the Tao, the big Tao, is the simplest form. Should be in its simplest form. So I think breathing is simple enough. When I first learned about hypnotherapies or coaching, people talk and talk and talk for hours. Indeed, talking, using words, expression is not my strength. And I don't feel talking can heal people. I really deeply believe talking will consolidate their problem, confirm their problem. Because people pay you when they come to see you to pay and talk, because they don't really want to solve the problem. They want to have some people to agree with them. That's what I don't want to do. I like transformational breath is that go, breathe. You can talk a few minutes, okay? Your breathing intention, or at most 30 minutes.
That reminds me of Dan Brullé's book, which is the title is "Just Shut Up and Breathe."
Yes, shut up and breathe. Yeah, you told me that joke, right? Shut up and breathe. Yes, we do it politely. Would you mind stop talking for a while and start to breathe?
Yeah, I mean, I really, appreciate, the fact that, transformational breath or, breathing technique, has a different approach rather than talking therapy or, trying
Yeah.
to solve a problem by talking your way through it. But I'm just curious to know about, the way, I mean, obviously, in Europe and in, I think the US is pretty similar. People have a kind of, they have a various attitudes towards the breath. Some people are very kind of interested and they feel, oh yeah, it seems like a good idea. And then there's a lot of people that were like are completely indifferent. Like the first time I went to California to do the 4A with you, the guy at the customs stopped me and asked me, in Los Angeles airport, what I was doing. Well, why did I come to America? And I said, I've come to learn how to breathe. And he said, I've seen some pretty strange people coming into Los Angeles. I ain't heard of nobody that came here to learn how to breathe. So there was a kind of misunderstanding as to the importance of the breath. And I was just wondering, what's the sort of general understanding of the breath in China? Because China for me is a bit of a question mark, because I've only been there once. And so I don't, so I'd really like you to give us an idea about what the attitudes towards the breath are in China, because I imagine there's many different attitudes.
Well, I think China is the same as other countries. Maybe the proportion of people understanding breathing a little bit higher, because a lot the Chinese medicine, qigong, tai chi. People was born with that kind of culture. People around them play tai chi, or their father play tai chi, qigong, and a lot of people will have encountered with Chinese medical doctor. A Chinese medical doctor will be play high in breathing. Yeah. Breathe deep, but they don't know how to teach breathing. Although they know breathing is important. And when you ask, I think more than half of the people know, breathing is important. Yes, it is important. But they don't aware it needs to be learned, to be trained, and they don't aware their breathing is not right at the moment, and they don't know how when they change their breathing, what benefit brought them. So I think the situation is we are easy. I think we are easier to get people to agree. Wow, breathing is important. Yes, I agree with that. But not to the not to the standard they want to pay, spend 6 days
Right,
or
right,
5 days
right,
in the
right,
training.
right. So I mean, Ken, you've built your business, your transformational breath business, your breathing business in China from scratch. So you didn't, nobody knew about transformational breath when you first arrived. It's a bit like myself and Catalina. We started in France and nobody knew about transformational breath. We had to get our facilitators from Belgium, from Holland, from England, from sometimes from Canada and the States. They would come in and help us because we had nobody here. What was it like for you in the beginning? Your first seminars, your first courses?
Well, I think luckily, Judith have a lot of support to us. In the first seminar, Judith brought, well, in Malaysia, another Paul, the Paul, and kind of from America. Well, 5 to 6 very top tier senior trainer to China. That kind of seminar is golden seminar, you know.
Yeah, with so many
Yes,
senior trainers. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And national leader. So in the first couple of seminar, we import facilitator. But before that, this is not easy indeed. When I do workshop, I try one with Connie to help me 2 to 20 people. But still, people have a lot of deep experience. People like that. So we do a lot of toning and do very fast. And so we train me to hands-on very fast. And at 1 to 5, 1 to 6 kind of training. That's difficult indeed. And the quality may not be as deep at present. We need more and now we have more facilitators and people can go deeper and more caring from them. At that time, about 10 years ago, yes, nearly 10 years ago, there are some body, mind, spirit training carry on in China. Yoga is kind of pretty popular. That group of people who are aware of conscious breathing. So they are ready to accept and to experience, come to experience us. And we do a lot of work indeed at the beginning. I translated the book, and the book helps a lot. And we have started social media and writing articles, going everywhere in China to conduct workshop. Sometimes very low price or sometimes free of charge. And yes, when time adds up, more and more people attract more and more people comes in, kind of moving in a right pace.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what your strategy was in terms of the territory of China, because what happened to us in France was that we started in Paris and then we moved down to the south, but we always kind of just always worked out of one venue, basically. And for the past 8 years, 9 years, we've worked out of the south of France, and people have come to us from all parts of France. So we haven't actually, geographically moved around France. We've just been in one place, and people have come. And I think the fortunate side of that was that it's the south of France, so it's a nice place for people to come to, even from different countries. So they consider it to be a venue which is attractive. But I was just wondering about, your attitude to this. Did you and Connie travel around China, or did you just stay in one place and then attract people to that one place?
both indeed, and we sometimes travel. In China it's big, but mainly it's the big city, Beijing, Shanghai, Guangzhou, Shenzhen, this kind of cities. And for seminar and level 4, we mainly organize in one place, the place we live, and attract people to come. Few years ago, interestingly, when I have my workshop in the south, in Guangzhou, the place I live, people in the north take train to take the workshop. That is impressive. Mainly now we use the social media, broadcast, live broadcast kind of thing to promote. And then now we have some group leader in several cities. So I don't need to travel much now.
Yeah, I was
in
just.
The past,
yeah, go ahead.
In the past, some people invited us to go to their city. They organize a workshop. They pay me for the course and things. That's called through referral. When the participant in seminar feel it's good and introduced to other people, some people invited us a few years ago. Yes, sometimes happens. This.
Yeah, the thing that's changed for us is that we just had our first level 5 in November of last year with Judy, and that has changed the dynamic in France because we had 36 participants in that level 5, and it just meant that we now have potentially, at least, although it's not quite the case yet, 36 group leaders. Some of them were English, but most of them were French. So that means we're going to have a lot of people all over France who are certified group leaders. And I think that's what changes things, or will change things for us. It's not quite happening yet now. This is April 2025, but it's like in a few months things are going to start. The group leaders will start to do their workshops. They're going to invite myself or Katerina to do weekends, I imagine. So things will start to expand in different parts of France. It won't just be the south of France. So when was your first level 5 in China, and was it how long did it take for it to make a big difference in terms of group leaders actually becoming responsible and doing their own workshops and what have you?
My first one is last year January.
Okay.
And the second one, not many people. We just have 10, 11 participants. That's the problem. Most of them are not going to organize their own workshop. And they have their own.
And why do you think? I mean, what do you think the key ingredient is? What allows or facilitates a group leader to actually do it and to create their own groups and to create their own workshops? What do you think the turning point is?
The turning point is when they have positive feedback from their workshop. When they have done once, people like that, they find them for the private sessions. People get motivated. Mainly of this.
Yeah.
But this year is better because after 1 year, we have 2 to 3 national leaders actually really have monthly workshop, and they can actually get their client out of that workshop. And they have positive feedback in terms of financially and emotionally.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
that is a very major part of us. National leader is not just attending 7 days from level 5. That's only the beginning. Connie and I spend a lot of time to change, indeed, to change their mindset, not to change, indeed, to share our experience, motivate them, And then when they have difficulties, we need to encourage them, and we need to teach them how to recruit people, how to answer questions in the right way. That, well, we do a lot of internet teleconference kind of things to train them. Indeed, in that people gave up easily. People give up easily. Oh, I cannot recruit. Just have one person, two person. And I encourage them. If you have two person, you keep going. You invite other facilitator to brief each other. It's kind of gathering, tea gathering or what. They need to persistent regularly, once a month or once every 2 weeks. Then in 1 year, you can see the results.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I mean, I remember the same process for myself. Is that one of the first workshops that we organized, there was one participant.
Oh, wow.
And you know, I mean, as you know, I mean, I have a background as an actor, and for me, when you have a theatre, you want it to be full. You don't want one person in the theatre. You want the room to be full. And so my mindset was it must be full. There must be a lot of people. But I hadn't understood the subtleties of humility. And I think for me, it's a very important word to use in the work that we do. There's a degree of humility. And actually, that workshop with one person worked out absolutely perfectly because we had one facilitator who I was his mentor, and so he briefed me. And then Katerina briefed the one participant. And at lunch, we went out to a Japanese restaurant and had a great lunch together. And it was a marvelous workshop, a half-day workshop. But you have to accept that it's so far from being perfect that you couldn't imagine anything as disastrous as having only one person in the workshop. But it's okay. One person is okay.
It's okay, yes. I think we still have prepared for that in mind. So that's what I experience. Indeed, is my way of working. Yeah, you need, when you believe it, you go ahead with that, and then do it consistently. Whatever happened, it happened to the best. Well, and this is the most difficult and the most important part. Yes, I told you to train them, to encourage them, change their mindset. To my group leader and facilitator as well. Don't give up so easily. When they consistently do it in 1 year, you can see the result, and you have reputation. People know about you, your community. So it's not about their techniques and things. It's all
No.
about their mindset.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I don't know how you organize this, but what we do is every 5 or 6 weeks we have a empowerment call on Zoom for
All right.
all the facilitators and group leaders, and we call them empowerment calls because we want to hear what's going on. You know, what are the problems, what are the challenges, so that we can share. So that I can say, hey, I did a workshop last week and I had one person. Okay, good. What happened? And so on. And so we can kind of listen to each other and support each other and maybe hold each other's hands, because I think that's a good thing. You know, sometimes it really is difficult and sometimes we don't have any solutions. So all we can do is hold each other's hands and say, okay, maybe better times are ahead. But there are also other areas of motivation, which is to do with let's just do it. Let's just try it. Let's just explore it and see what happens. And so the empowerment groups we found have been really good at doing that, at pushing people along, as it were, and encouraging and, as you say, inspiring people to do it, to go ahead.
Yeah, that's good. But we did in a similar way, and then through uh, through the internet. I think we have more frequent meeting, and indeed, twice a month.
Twice a month, okay.
Or whatever they need help. They have workshop. Some people will call. I have a kids training, kind of school kids how to do it. So we gave advice, share experience, kind of thing.
Wow.
So when some people more enthusiastic, they got result. That person can influence others. So we need to find out the most enthusiastic, go-getter to be the example.
And I'm curious to know what you feel about what's been happening since COVID, because COVID was a big shock to, I think, the breathing community, because all of a sudden, you couldn't do live workshops, or it was very difficult to do live workshops. And then the foundation sort of started going online much more. And I think that was incredible, the creativity that was shown during that period. And it actually happened to me as well. A lot of my coaching, my personal business went online as well. But I'm just curious to know what you felt about, what happened during that period, because what we felt was that the workshops that were after COVID, and the workshops that we're having now, it seems to be a steady increase of them being more and more, and the word that I use to myself is demanding, for me, not just for the participants, but I find that it's more demanding, that that the level of requirement has gone up, it seems to me, and I don't know whether you feel there's been a change in people's expectations, in the way people are turning up. For me, the quality of people turning up now is much higher. That's a personal impression. I don't know whether it's true or not, but it's a personal impression. Yeah.
In 2020s, when COVID just started, we were shut up. We can't go anywhere. At that time, we did Connie and I did live podcasts the whole day talking about conscious breathing. Well, that is very impressive indeed. And then we have a program that I teach you how to breathe 5 minutes during the online, and then everybody attend, and then online they enroll. Today I have joined it. I have 5 minutes training, and then my experience, my feeling. A lot of people join this program because they have nothing to do.
That's right. What are they going to do?
Yeah, that is successful. We attract a lot of potential participants, seminar, and facilitator. So when the city open up, we organize seminar, and more people comes in. That I think that time indeed when I start using the online tools, it increased my influence, our influences. More people know about us, about breathing, and we keep doing some. We do online 2 days. It's good that Judith had that program, that training, online facilitations. So we do a couple of online 2 days workshop during the years. When it opened up in 2021, we still have some time to open up. That time is good for us to recruit people hungry to learn breathing. When the city open up, they want to move, they want to go to other cities, to tour around. But after 2022, when it really opened up, total open up, things change. Because the economy is downturn. Some people expect that when it open up, economy should grow up and be all happier. But indeed, it's just the negative. Company got bankrupt, get fired, they lost their job. And the economics outlook is not good. And until now, people think the economy is downturning. So they are not well, they're afraid of spending money. So their first priority in their lives to get the skill financially, get a job or to save their company. So in 2023 until now, our recruitment is not as good as before.
Mm, mm.
So we have well done. We invest some money in short video. I learned how to do short video, live broadcast. We organize online selling, online promotions. So that's what we are doing, and we need to indeed expand our reach. Before, our reach is only to a very small group of people. Now we need to have it bigger.
So who is
But China is
your typical participant? I mean, we find that a lot of our participants are therapists, or in some way, or coaches perhaps, or in some way they're in the business of accompanying other people. So they have some form of, this maybe 60-70% of our customers, our participants are therapists. Is that the case with you?
Oh no, no, it's not that high. It's not that high. People come with their breathing problem or their emotional problem. They want to some spiritual going after to enhance their spirituality. I think it's only 10% of people want to be a therapist.
Okay.
I
Okay.
think some people, when they come in and become facilitators, they want to have their second career after their retirement. As far as the present situation, they are civil servant, school teachers, university teachers, kind of people. When they come to close to their 50s, they are thinking about, well, what are they going to do after their retirement? So we are kind of, well, providing second career to those who was born in 1970s.
Mm.
It's still is or and housewife when their kids grow up, go into university, well, then they have nothing to do. They want to have something to do meaningfully. They like. So facilitator may be one of their choice.
One of the, I think, unique characteristics of transformational breath is the fact that the spiritual dimension is at the center of the technique itself and is fully assumed and is fully talked about, either during the seminar and then in 4A, even more so, with a part of the course which is about the angels of respiration, the angels, the breath angels. So, my question would be about what specifically in China, when you start talking about, you mentioned spirituality, but when you start talking about spirituality, is it similar to the West, or is there a very different feedback that you get from people in general when you talk about spirituality or the spiritual dimension of life?
In training, yes, we talk about spirituality, the same as the transformational breath, something inside your inner self, the true self, that we can still talk about that. But openly, I don't say this. Yeah. This is, the communist countries indeed.
Yeah.
And I avoid using my word, kind of inner wisdom, connect with your intuition. We say this kind of thing. Go to the place that you beyond your consciousness, something that you don't know, that kind of terms to say. Yeah. Although people, although here, well, they don't encourage religions, kind of thing, and still a lot of people really need that spiritual experience. Yes, there's still the attraction of transformational breath. People, when they experience that, they got mystical experience. that impressed them.
Mm. Yeah, is that something that you can actually get into trouble with in China? I mean, have you had any political or social pressure on you in that area?
Not directly, but we are cautious in this because
Mm,
we are cautious in doing that. And in the same field like body, mind, spirit, I think transformational breath has the benefit of being accepted because it's breathing, it's health caring, kind of well-being, something like yoga. It's not anything about ideologies kind of thing.
So it's
And
not directly challenging. It's not directly
sorry again.
challenging. It's not directly challenging, attitudes towards spirituality or whatever. It's about breathing, so it's much more
Yes,
basic. Yeah.
yes, it's basic. It's about breathing. And during our training or when I speak openly, I am very cautious. I also need to remind our facilitator to be cautious in that.
So when you do the invocations, do you do them, do you do them out loud or do you do them inside as as a as a reminder to yourself, or do you actually express it publicly?
Expect what?
The
Publicly.
invocations that we do in the breathing sessions. Do you actually publicly, do you say them out loud?
Say out loud, we open it in social media. Yeah. Well, we are careful in the words we use.
Okay. Okay.
All right, excuse me. All right, come back.
Yeah. Yeah. I was looking at the writing on the wall behind you.
Oh, the writing.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a calligraphy given me from my friend called Breathing China.
Breathing
Means,
China. Oh, wow.
yes. The first two words we read from the right to the left. So the first two is breathing and then China. 4 words.
Wow. 4 words. That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Yes, kind of when facilitators come to my place, they need to kind of, what do you call, selfie with this background.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much, Ken, for this conversation. And yeah, it was really great to be able to connect with you again after all this time. I
Wonderful.
I so much appreciated your determination and the quality of your vision when we first met. I remember in California, you already had a vision of what you were going to do, and I was very impressed. I had no idea what I was going to do, and you've gone and done it, and you've built something marvelous in China. So I think that's really a great achievement.
Thank you. It's a very wonderful conversation. And yes, I remember we share. I share with you, and well, I'm sure my vision has some influence to you.
Oh yeah,
a little
absolutely.
bit, a little bit.
You
So
also
you grew
gave
up.
me very concrete recommendations. You said I should walk for half an hour a day. I remember that, you telling me this, and that
Yes,
I should eat hot soup, which is a very good dietary recommendation. Hot soup. I
yes,
remember it was hot soup, half hour. Hot soup, half hour. So those
yes,
are
yeah. That is the kind of common sense with Chinese,
common sense.
Chinese
Yeah.
health caring. Right. So I felt you and Catherine Katharina is doing great job. And you have a big group in your training. That's
Yeah,
wonderful.
we're going through a very good moment at the moment. It's we've had lots of big groups, and we also had small groups. We had a 4A with 6 people recently, so it's not always very big number of participants, but we do have big seminars, yeah, and it's going very well. And as I said, I mean, I feel that we're attracting people who are of a different level. They're very committed. There's more committed people coming to the seminars, and so
Uh,
it's like we don't have to do very much anymore. They just come in and they already know. It's like the information. It's like what you were saying earlier about words. It's like the words are almost done. Although these messages, I think the messages of transformational breath for me, Byron Katie, Michael Brown, etc., all those messages have to be repeated many, many times before you really get them. It's a bit like leadership. The fundamental leadership in terms of words, in terms of techniques, is that you have to be the example. You've got to be the change. But you have to actually hear that many, many times before you really understand it. It's not about the words themselves, it's about the depth of the words, but you have to go and repeat it again and again and again and again and again. So we find that we're doing that, we're doing the words, but there's something more about the depth that's coming out in the seminars, and it's because people are prepared for it. It's almost as if they know that they're going to go deep. It's not it's not a question anymore. They come to the seminars in order to go deep. It's not you don't have to convince them. Oh, you must go deep. No, no, no. It's already. How can I go deep? It's already in their mindset, and so I think, and I think it's because of the change, because there's been I think a political and social change that we're just beginning to see the effects of. So I
yes. All right. Yes, that's wonderful. So good.
thank you so much, Ken. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
and
Thank you.
and
Well,
and
are you going
and
to Turkey
yeah,
in
yeah, in
October?
November. Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
absolutely, absolutely.
Yes. Me too.